Howdy folks, Dave here at Thunder Mesa Studio, where I have now worked my way around to the hanging rock section of the layout as I move forward on the demolition required for Thunder Mesa 2.0. And this is a tough one because this is one of my favorite sections of the entire layout. Some of my favorite scenes are right here. Horse Thief Canyon, the Indian Ruins, Devil's Garden, and of course the little outlaw burg of Hanging Rock itself. But in order to move forward with the big plans for Thunder Mesa 2.0, this has to all come apart. Of course, I'll be taking the same care, or more so, that I did on the Calico sections and Circle D Ranch sections to remove the structures and the figures and the details and any bits of scenery that I want to save, the track components, all of that I'm going to try and save as much as I possibly can to be reused at different locations on the new layout. Now this little 2 by about 5 foot section of the layout was never completely finished. I worked on it kind of piecemeal over the years, do a little bit here, a little bit there, between, I don't know, like 2015 and I think the last thing I did on it was probably in 2022. So there were parts that were never done, like the balancing rocks over here in Devil's Garden. That was never finished. Some of the scenery down here was never complete. Some of the scenery down here, there was supposed to be the On18 line was supposed to come around this way. One of the reasons I never finished that, and one of the reasons I want to change things in Thunder Mesa 2.0 is that once I built this, I discovered that the On18 track coming back through here was not a great idea. It was a really difficult reach. The access was very problematic. So that's one of the things that's going to be fixed moving forward with the new layout. One of the things I did do right, however, is I made several of the sections of scenery removable. So it's going to be relatively easy to save things like the Indian Ruins here and our friend Dr. Jones. I can just pull this straight out and we can reinstall that in a new section of the layout at a future date. And another access hatch here down below the town of Hanging Rock, which allowed me to access all the wiring, everything for the structures. Pull that out. This piece of rock work up here was from the old Lone Rock diorama. Those of you who've been around for a while might remember that one. That was never glued down. Just kind of set up here. And as you can see, I've already removed all of the balancing rocks and the arch and everything from what was the Devil's Garden area. Up on top of this tunnel, I've got a couple of access panels also. This one come right off. And then this little butte here has the LED lighting hidden inside for the thunderstorm on the backdrop. And I'll be reusing all of those electronics on the new layout. And they're going to be in an area known as Thunderbird Butte. Now this is the Thunder and Lightning unit from Iron Penguin Electronics. Works great. They got some really cool stuff. You can find them on eBay. Iron Penguin. This snow shed tunnel portal, never glued in, so I can just pull that right out. This is going to be reused again, I think, over in the Living Desert section on the new layout. A lot of this desert scenery, like these cacti and some of these yuccas and things like that, those are going to be reused right away on the Bandit Canyon layout, which I'm going to be working on quite a bit over the next couple months. And then when I build, the new sections of the Thunder Mesa layout, I'll put in new cactus there. These great-looking prickly pear, by the way, are from Pegasus scale models. I believe you can find them on eBay also. I'll also try to save a lot of this, field grass and things like that, the flowers. But, when it's just rocks and dirt and ground foam. I'm not going to try to save that. That's very easily replaced. Back on the structures. Once again, these are not glued down, so pull up out of here. And some things I thought were glued down aren't. Or not anymore. The mining company office should lift right off. And Olson and Furlow's place should come up off of here as well. Without too much difficulty. Still one of my favorite structures. This is definitely going to find a new spot somewhere, probably over in Thunder Mesa town. And I should be able to just pop all of these little details off, like Indy's doghouse, crates and barrels, things like that. All that gets saved. I try to keep all of these details organized in boxes and things, so I'll be able to find them later. They won't go back in exactly this configuration, probably, but I will reuse all of these guys. I'll spray some water over here to dissolve this glue so I can get all these details out cleanly. So the only thing that's really left now, other than, you know, retaining walls and things like that, is the blacksmith shop. Another one of my all-time favorite structures. Unfortunately, well, at least for this project, unfortunately, it was built in place. It's built right onto this foam. But since this is foam, I should be able to just cut the whole thing out. I think I can just cut the whole structure out, you know, with the foam base in place and pull it all out of here. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. Well, bad news. I just discovered, doing a little model railroad archaeology underneath here, that this is actually sitting partially on foam and partially on plywood. The back corner of this model is on plywood, so the actual plywood road bed, and I won't be able to get it out of there cutting through it without doing some damage, at least not all in one piece. So I'm going to have to try and take it off piecemeal, which I didn't want to have to do. But lesson learned. I won't do that again. All right, got that. Let's get the Pinto out of here. Got a lot of little details I don't want to lose, including old Ezra Washington himself. Fortunately, I have tons of pictures of this model, so I will be able to reconstruct it, you know, almost exactly the way it is. Check out those little laser cut horseshoes there. You see that? I think what's going to happen is I'll be able to lift this right off, but then a lot of the details are going to stay, yeah, like the forge, etc. Let's put this someplace safe. Well, it's kind of a bummer that I couldn't get it off of here all in one piece, but, you know, I try to look at things like that as an opportunity. I'll go back and rebuild this thing on a piece of MDF, so it's a freestanding model, which is the way I should have done it to begin with. And it'll give me a chance to fix some of the minor details that were not exactly 100% correct for a blacksmith shop of this era. So, you know, it's kind of the whole point of Thunder Mesa 2.0, to go back and re-examine things that maybe could be done a little bit better. If I can just get this forge off of here. There we go. Be good to go. Now I can start in removing this track. I want to save this bridge, use it again. But, you know, once again, this is a chance to fix some things. This bridge is not exactly 100% prototypical. It should have truss rods going down. It should be supported down here. Things like that I will fix in the future. what I want to do is I just cut through this track here and save the bridge with about a 2 or 3 inch approach on each side. Just pull that right out. Parts of this bridge date back, to the earliest days of the layout. The trusses here, this was originally a Hermosa Creek truss bridge, and I made it into a deck truss bridge for this location. But the trusses were on a bridge that was originally over Big Thunder Creek. I replaced that with a trestle because I thought it looked better in that spot. Let's see if I can get it off here without too much trauma. There we go. Okay, success. Sadly, there's probably no way to save these bridge abutments. These are carved foam, and they're just going to break when I try to pull them out of here, I think. They've got sculptamold around them. Give it a shot, though. Oh. Got it. Reuse that. As I continue to remove this track, and all I'm doing is soaking it with water and to dissolve the glue and the ballast, pulling out any spikes that might be there. And I'll wash all that later on, clean it up. But as I do that, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. This is something that people that visit the layout in person never even realize. They did a pretty good job hiding the joint here, I think. This is the dividing line right here between the what I call the Hanging Rock section. It's really the Horse Thief Canyon section, and this corner section of the old layout right here runs right through the middle of Hanging Rock. So need to break that joint. I think I wasn't all that careful here, and I might have used a little bit of sculptamold. It's a much better idea to just use, plain dirt or ground cover or ballast to hide a joint like that, or sanded grout works really well. Sculptamold plaster is not the best thing. It dries, like concrete. Well, from here on out, it's pretty much just more demolition and destruction, and I don't think you need to watch me do that again. So while I take care of this, why don't you take a look at the history of Hanging Rock and Horse Thief Canyon from way back when until today. This was the last section of the layout, which was supported by these metal shop shelves. So now I'm going to reassemble them and use them to store everything I just took off, just like I did last time. Now we got everything on here with room to spare, but I'm sure I'll find some stuff to go on these shelves too. And with that, we are well over halfway through the demolition on Thunder Mesa 2.0. I'm pleased with how fast this aspect of the project is going, and it means we're that much closer to getting started on actual construction, which I am really looking forward to. Next thing on the list will be this back corner here, which has the other side of Hanging Rock and the Mission San Lorenzo and Zacchello Plaza on the other side. That's going to be fun. And all that destruction, I was able to save this large chunk of Horse Thief Canyon. Better believe that's going to end up somewhere. Looking back at that montage on Hanging Rock, it really struck me how much that area of the layout has evolved and changed over the past almost 9 years. But I want those of you who are watching to be assured that it's not going to take another 9 years to bring these scenes back up to that level of detail and finish. Back in the early days of the layout, I didn't work on it that regularly. There were, there'd be months at a time when I wouldn't work on it at all. I'd be doing other things. But these days I work on it just about every week. So it should only take maybe a couple of years to bring things back to where they were. So stick with me on this, all right? Also, looking at several of the small details and things that I took off of Hanging Rock, and then looking here on the Bandit Canyon Railway, the On18 layout, I'm thinking a lot of that stuff that doesn't end up on Thunder Mesa 2.0 will probably end up here on this layout sooner rather than later. Like, for example, this little mining company office, which is actually a model of a building at Disneyland along Big Thunder Trail. Looks really nice right there. It fits in perfectly. But it should, because after all, the theme of Bandit Canyon is the same as the theme of Hanging Rock. Hanging Rock was supposed to be a little town in the middle of nowhere taken over by outlaws, and Bandit Canyon is the same thing. In fact, I'm not even going to wait. I'm going to take some of these details that I removed from Hanging Rock and reuse them right away here on the depot platform at Hole in the Wall. Because my philosophy is, I think it's better to reuse these things right away than to have them sit in a box and get dusty and possibly damaged or even lost. It's better to have them glued on as part of a larger model. And, if you got it, use it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've got some barrels from Bar Mills, some scratch-built crates. This one's from Gary Beatty. And a couple of light 'em and hide dynamite boxes. This little hand truck is a really nice detail also. And I'll go ahead and reuse some of these cactus and yucca over here as well. Here's a nice juniper tree I took off from the Hanging Rock section. I'll put some prickly pear up here as well. I'll go back and backfill around all of these cacti and yuccas and things with some red dirt, so there's some soil for them to be growing out of, even though they do sometimes grow right out of the rocks out here in the desert. But I think we better wrap it up for now, because we're in danger of making this a Bandit Canyon Railway episode rather than a Thunder Mesa 2.0 episode. And that is going to wrap it up for today. Thank you all so much for continuing to support this channel by watching, liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, all those YouTube things. You can also follow Thunder Mesa over on Instagram at thunder.mesa, and you can see what's happening on the Thunder Mesa Studio website at thundermesa.com. Studio. And if you really enjoy what we're doing here at the channel and would like to show your support even more, you can do what these great folks did and head on over to patreon.com/thundermesa and show your support there. Until next time, keep moving forward, my friends. That's what I'm going to do. Adios for now.